Behind Dutch Headlines, the who, why, and how of politics and media.
Hey, it's me, Greg Shapiro. Here's what you need to know to join the Dutch conversation, or not. A recent poll says that if the upcoming city council elections would be held today, it would be the lowest voter turnout ever. It feels just like back home in America. Even though these upcoming elections are the only ones where internationals are actually allowed to vote. So, internationals, you can help. I know the Dutch are getting good at beating the Americans on the world stage. Well, for lowest voter turnout ever, now is your chance to help squander your unique opportunity. Let's take a look at the Dutch News Top 4, and my pick would be this one. Amsterdam scores lowest on a new list of student capitals. Why? Largely due to a lack of courses in English. To which Amsterdam University's replied, "Nou, ik zie geen probleem. Gewoon Nederlands. Geweldig. Gezellig hoor." Amsterdam, take a good look in the mirror. And if the mirror is covered with your own spit, you may wish to offer courses in any other language. This week, internationals, if you did not get your envelope like this one in the post, then go ask for a ballot. These upcoming elections are the ones where you can actually vote. Now, we've done city council profiles so far on the cities where internationals live. Amsterdam, Eindhoven, Den Haag, and this week, Utrecht. Utrecht, a city whose government is just like the city of Utrecht itself. By that I mean bipolar. Just take a look at the city center of Utrecht. It's part medieval streets and historic canals, and right next to that, the hulking monstrosity known as Hoog Catharijn, Our Lady of Perpetual Construction, which leads into Utrecht Central Station, and the convention halls couldn't be more different. And similarly, in the city government, you've got GroenLinks, which is the biggest party in the city council, but the mayor is from VVD. Bipolar. Now, with a city this bipolar, you would expect that the politics are similarly wacky, and these candidates don't disappoint. The theme of the four major candidates is split personalities, part tie-dye, part suit and tie. Now, starting off with GroenLinks, the biggest party in city council, their main candidate is Helene de Boer. And sorry, darling, that's the only picture of you I could find. Her top priorities are jobs and job reintegration, fighting poverty, and sustainability in last place for the Green Party, but that's pretty tie-dye. Next up is the Labour PvdA party with Gilbert Isabella. And yes, he's wearing a tie, but could he look less comfortable wearing the tie? And of course, Labour's top priorities are housing, healthcare, and investing in Utrecht, aka big government. I'm going to call that tie-dye. Now, the split personality in Utrecht is the suit and tie from VVD. It's this guy, Klaas Geldof, so comfortable in a suit and tie, he could be the newspaper editor from Superman. What do you know VVD's top priorities are? Less government and more jobs. From D66, Klaas Verschuren, and it just goes to show how they really are a centrist party. Yes, he looks comfortable in a suit and tie, but with the haircut, he could be kind of a nerd. And his top priorities are less red tape and more education. Fittingly, Utrecht just recently unveiled its first international school with, yes, more courses in English. Amsterdam, you could take some notes. So which of these two guys is more suit and tie? Well, it's a tie. But speaking of D66, the national politicians are making more waves about the EU position on Ukraine. And with the EU perspective, let's check in with Wietse van der Gaast.
Well, Greg, Pechtold argued that the EU is too absent in the current Crimea crisis. Well, to quote Sir Winston Churchill, "One should never let a good crisis go to waste." And Winston Churchill is the person to quote because he was there in 1945 at the Yalta Conference in Crimea together with Stalin and Roosevelt when they drew up the lines of post-war Europe and the Middle East. A Yalta Conference that left a few too many loose ends that we are still dealing with today. Now fast forward to 2014, we replaced Stalin by Putin and Roosevelt by the Obama-John Kerry combination, The only remaining question is, who is the Churchill-esque crisis manager that Europe now needs? So, crisis management is what we're looking for, and these are our guys in Brussels. Well, not really the muscle man or the general patents one is looking for in a situation like this. Also, it seems that Mutti Merkel is ruling from behind the curtains, and François Hollande is caught up with, well, whatever François Hollande is caught up with at the moment. So, since Winston Churchill was more or less at the beginning of this crisis, it would be suitable for Cameron to step up and clean up the mess. Where's the British invasion when you need it? Well, unfortunately bad timing, as Cameron is dealing with a renegade peninsula of his own, trying to keep the Scottish and their oil on board. So it seems that Lady Ashton is representing the British at the moment, and it seems we have to rely on her strength of character. However, there is one more contender, Anders Fogh Rasmussen, Secretary General of the NATO. And since the Black Sea is surrounded by NATO countries, he has been all over the news in recent days. The liberal politician and member of the European ALDE coalition is known to have the ambition to take over one of Europe's top jobs, and apparently the one Van Rompuy is holding at the moment. Now, to quote another Roosevelt, when he spoke on diplomacy, he said, "One should talk softly, but carry a big stick." Well, in Europe we've had plenty of soft talk and soft diplomacy, so Rasmussen might just be the one carrying the big stick. Let's see how things develop in coming days, but you never know, soon Europe might be marching Foggy style.
Thank you, Wietse. Now, before we go back to local politics, in the city of Amsterdam, the Expat Center is organizing a special day for internationals on Thursday, the 6th of March, to help you prepare for life in Amsterdam, but also specifically the city council elections coming up on the 19th of March. Now, I will be there. I'll be debating for internationals and for the party D66, full disclosure. And Wietse was talking about the splitting up of Ukraine, and one of the issues in Amsterdam is stadssplitsing, or public policy that divides Amsterdam into the ring, inside the ring where it really matters, and outside the rest of the city. Now, oddly enough, according to an official study commissioned by City Council last week, it's not a real problem. Amsterdammers don't think about Amsterdam as inside the ring and outside the ring. The only people who think that way are apparently the politicians. So Utrecht is not the only city who is a little bipolar, because apparently the only splitsing is in the heads of the current politicians. Now, that's it for this week. Until next week, we say thank you to our sponsors, thank you to our partners, and to you, thank you very Dutch.
Behind Dutch Headlines.